I'm headed over to see David Iwanow. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry if I don't. I've known David for a while. I met him at multiple conferences over the years. I went to London a couple times to speak. He was there. Really friendly, smart SEO. He's actually now the head of search at Reckitt, and he flew into New York, New Jersey to go to the parent company. And I said, hey, let's meet up. So he's actually only about 30 minutes from my office. He's based in, I think, the Netherlands, Amsterdam. So he's out here in New York area for a few days, and I'm glad I have an opportunity to catch up with him and talk SEO with him. So I'm going to the Reckitt offices in New Jersey to meet with him, and hopefully you enjoy it. Enjoy the ride there. It's a pretty nice day. I'll speak to you guys soon. All right, this is David. David, tell people on this camera over here who you are. But first, a word from our sponsor, Ahrefs. Do you wish you could get more traffic to your website? Half the battle of that is knowing what to fix on your website regarding SEO. You could always hire an SEO consulting firm to do that, but that could be expensive. I've always said, if you could do it in-house, understand SEO, understand what you need to fix, you could probably fix it better than most SEO companies because you know your business, you know your customers, you know your content better than anybody else. What if you get a free SEO audit from an amazing tool set? That is the power of Ahrefs Webmaster Tools. Ahrefs Webmaster Tools gives you the tools and the information you need to go ahead and see a list of things that you could fix on your site immediately. You'll see the keywords you're ranking for, understand how Google sees your content and your site, and discover how making changes to your website could absolutely blow up your traffic in Google search. So check out Ahrefs Webmaster Tools at ahrefs.com/webmaster-tools. And thanks again to Ahrefs for sponsoring.
Hello, my name is David Iwanow. I'm the head of search at Reckitt, based in Amsterdam, but currently in New York City doing some search training with our local teams.
Okay, and is this the main headquarters for this place or no?
For a US team, I think so, yes.
US team. And you work in the office in Amsterdam now?
In Amsterdam, yes.
Bigger office, nicer office?
It's at Schiphol. I'm not sure, it's a nice central location.
I've never been to Amsterdam.
You should come over.
No, thanks for inviting me.
Particularly in
summer. I'm
summer.
going to pack my bags when you're leaving. I'll come with you.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's your family lets you take like another week off on, travel around the world.
Why not?
Friends of Search. I would say Friends of Search. There's a few events. There's YostCon. There's Friends of Search. There's a few events happening.
All right, I'll check my inbox for invite and and tickets, and I'll be right there. Awesome. Okay, you've been in this space for a long time. Not
Yes.
to date you. I'm a little bit older than you.
Yes.
I look way older than you. Can I ask how old you are? Or you don't want to put that on tape, on video?
40.
You're 40. All right.
It sounds weird saying that. I kind of feel like, when I got into SEO in like 2007, like my first big conference, I went to SMX East. I think it was in 2008.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I felt really young.
Yeah.
And now I was looking at all the people like,
Barry Schwartz.
Well.
I got in this space when I was a baby.
Yeah, but
How old do you think I am?
I'm going like 43.
Oh, pretty good. I'm actually turning 43 next month.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I was thinking of Bruce Clay.
Bruce Clay, yeah.
So back then, people like Bruce Clay looked, reasonably young.
He still looks reasonable. He's in pretty good shape for a guy at his age.
He is definitely good
Because
shape.
he's probably the oldest person in SEO ever because he invented SEO. So
I know, but that was the crazy thing. Like all these people, when I first went to the conference, they were like, they're all in their kind of early 30s and stuff and chatting and stuff. And now I'm like, I feel like one of those old.
Yes. We're falling apart. We literally, in SEO years, we're probably like 120.
Basically. But it's one of those weird things. It's like, I guess the whole thing, we have to sometimes make more of an effort to not be sort of old or out of date because, I do know a lot about the SEOs who just kind of kept doing the same thing.
You can't do the same thing in SEO. You become irrelevant, right?
But that's the thing. I think there was a lot of people that you become irrelevant in the space of maybe a couple of years. That's, our industry's moving so fast, like even like the ChatGPT stuff.
Right.
There's people which are doubling down on that, which is fine. But there's other people which will ignore it and keep ticking along. And they'll wake up one day and they won't be relevant.
And they won't be here.
Maybe.
That's the beauty of the people who are still in the industry, including like Bruce Clay. You have to constantly adapt. You can't just stay put. So, because back in 2007 when you were doing this, just buying a bunch of links, you could rank for anything you wanted to.
Yeah, but this is the crazy thing. I remember sort of, you go back 10 years, no one would publicly talk about if they bought or sold links. And like I used
Not
to...
10 years ago, no.
I used to do white hat SEO. Because it was, legitimate. I wasn't hacking to people's sites. I wasn't doing comment spam. I was doing proper sort of, paid partnerships.
Right.
But I did it
Paid
for
partnerships.
several high-profile SEOs, but they're also the same people always screaming about, I've never bought a link in my life. And I'm like, you didn't, but I did it for you. So that was one of those.
Because some really well-known SEOs were hired by Google to buy links for them.
Yeah.
So back then there was, I don't know when nofollow came out in 2005, 2006.
Was that long ago?
I think so.
It was WordPress did it because all the comment spam, wasn't it?
Yeah. So movable type and WordPress back then. I refused to add nofollows to my links until much later because I was stubborn.
But you got the penalty though, didn't you?
I like getting the penalties. I get all the penalties.
You got all the, remember how you used to have all those links down the side, all those sponsored things, and you would actively tell people like these are sponsored.
I would the title said sponsored, but it didn't have the real sponsored link on it until recently. Just because I bought a lot of scars all over me, as you can see.
Yeah.
Full of scars. But I enjoy the penalties. I enjoy the core update, the Panda penalty. I got hit by Panda. Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, my content's amazing. Have you ever? I'm just joking. All right, let's go back. So in 2007, why did you get into SEO?
Well, I mean, because obviously I was lucky enough that I had the coverage on your blog about looking back.
So I'm the reason you're in SEO now.
No, but everyone can read the article on your site for more details. But I guess the big thing was like I came back to Australia. I was, doing various things. I was working in call centers. Life was kind of a bit shitty, and my mum needed help with her business. So I said, how hard can it be? I'll teach myself analytics, teach myself Google Ads, build her a website, and just sort of go from there. And I actually found it was really easy. But then the thing which annoyed me is when I started talking with companies about doing some sort of freelancing with them, they weren't interested. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because probably half of the agencies, at least I spoke with, they're out of business now. I mean, maybe I'm not saying it's correlation, but I think it's the fact that they didn't see SEO as the future of their business.
Right.
They
back then it was people felt it was kind of this like mystical, fake, I don't know, illegal
We buy
stuff.
TV ads. Right. We buy radio spots. We build websites through a third party. We don't need SEO. We don't need analytics. We don't need to do paid search.
And now we're sitting in a place where, how big is the SEO team across the world?
It's not as big as you think. I mean,
there's people who have titles. What's your title here?
Head of search.
Head of search. All right. There's people now who have VP titles on SEO and stuff like that. So it's a legit business now, thanks to people like you who kind of made it that way.
Well, I think you had probably more.
I just produce lots of content spam. That's all I do.
Yeah, but I think the fact that, there's a lot more people in the industry which did a lot of things to push things forward.
Yeah.
So I think, following some of those people, you were lucky that you followed the right people down the right paths, because I've got a couple of mates who go very, very much down the, I guess, black hat sort of path
some
of
of
hacking.
them in jail now.
More than a few. But yeah, I think, you kind of feel lucky sometimes in terms of the people you sort of picked as mentors. And like, you recently spoke to Glenn Gabe.
Yes.
There's people like that, which are just really honest, hardworking, smart people. So I think I was lucky that some of the people in the industry that I did choose to follow.
Right. There's two ways you could have gone there. Although some people have gone one way and then came back the other way. So it's always possible. Because you learn a lot by doing it one way. And then,
and I think
I'm sure you've dabbled in that too. 2007, it'd be hard not to dabble in some of the more black hat stuff.
Yeah, but as I said, I think that everything's relative. Like if you're hacking into people's sites, you're manipulating, you're causing stress or harm to people.
Hacking is a bit extreme. I mean, now I wouldn't even call that black hat. Hacking is basically illegal.
Yeah.
It's like against the law.
But it's the exact match domains. That's where I both, I guess, got burnt, but also learned a lot of things very quickly. So I remember when I was living here in 2010 for a couple of months, I got drunk and I bought various, exact match domains, and they instantly ranked for stuff they shouldn't rank for. You filled up some AdSense, you bought a couple of expired domains, you redirected them, it started ranking.
And then Google came out with that EMD update after that?
And things crashed. Like I think at one point I was making like $2,000 a month off redirects.
It's crazy. It's crazy times. All right, cool. So you lived through the EMD update, the Panda update, the Penguin updates, the core updates. But now in the position you're in now, you probably don't have to worry too much about these updates.